bolt down the street, and while this footage is somewhat hard to make out, police say this is the moment when he reaches down for the gun, grabs it, and aims it at the officers. The officers respond with gunfire, and the suspect...
Welcome to CSL TV, and I just hope you guys are having a beautiful, blessed day. Now, if you're new to the channel, this is just a review, a reaction, as well as an informational channel. Hopefully the information will probably help you or someone out. We just gonna watch some videos and talk about them. And if you've been rocking with your boy, I just gotta say thank you so much, because you could be somewhere else and you choose to be here. But I ain't gonna make this intro too long, so you already know. Let's get it.
There might be people out there married to their brothers or sisters without knowing.
When Dr. Jan Karbat opened his clinic in the 70s, he was considered a trailblazer in the field of IVF treatment. He was one of few doctors in the Netherlands willing to assist single mothers and gay couples to have children.
Ik wil per se een donor met bruine ogen, of per se met krullend haar, of per se met rood haar. Dan kun je dat krijgen.
But as time went on, a disturbing truth emerged from under the surface. It turned out that he secretly used his own sperm to get at least 65 women pregnant without their knowledge.
Het is al gebeurd. Even een beetje lucht blazen.
He was able to keep it under wraps for many years. This was possible because back then sperm donors' anonymity was strongly emphasized and no DNA tests were conducted. But the fact that many of the donor children he helped conceive looked identical to each other raised suspicions of the doctor's wrongdoing. As adults, many of them discovered their true biological origins through DNA tests and found themselves with numerous half-siblings. Dr. Jan's fertility clinic was forced to close in 2009 after 3 decades of operation.
So much is about to change.
I have to remind myself to breathe. Gotta go hard.
After the closure, rumors began to emerge that Dr. Jan had been using his own sperm to inseminate patients without their knowledge or consent. There were also allegations that he might have falsified data, analysis, and donor descriptions. But even after closing, people still sought answers from Dr. Jan. A group of people who suspected they were conceived with his sperm took legal action to seek DNA testing. Dr. Jan, who was in his late 80s at the time, denied the allegations.
Niet in strijd is met...
Bro, you mean to tell me this old guy was out here taking his sperm, just going off, going ham, just so he can give other people his DNA, his sperm? Now, I don't want to know what is going through your head, because this is definitely not something you're supposed to do. Evidently, it's illegal. And then why was you making it seem like it was somebody else when it was really you in the long run? That's just some sick, twisted shit. Like, you trying to mutate some stuff that's not supposed to be mutating and mixing together and all this other shit, you know what I'm saying?
In strijd is met ons geweten en ons gevoel. En voldoen weet hij met liefde.
A journalist named Camille Bellouk became interested in the story after hearing about it on the news. He managed to arrange an interview with Dr. Jan.
The doctor called Jan Karbat. You might have heard of the guy.
When Camille confronted him with the allegations, Dr. Jan intensely denied everything. Camille described the doctor as evasive and dishonest.
When I asked him about using his own sperm, he said no. First important question I asked was about the limits of children per donor in his clinic. The answer was very weird.
Camille ended up being the last person to interview Dr. Jan before his passing.
Mijn enige doel was een vrouw en kind te geven.
Dr. Jan died in 2017, shortly after the legal proceedings against him began. Following his death, the Dutch court granted the group of plaintiffs access to his DNA.
If there's a person alive, you cannot force him to do this paternity test. They were all waiting until Karbat dies to use the material.
The authorities seized items from his home and extracted DNA from a toothbrush. Dr. Jan was confirmed to be the biological...
That toothbrush gonna let him know exactly what's going on.
Jan was confirmed to be the biological father of at least 49 individuals conceived through his clinic, with the possibility of even more offspring yet to be discovered.
So there are 49 of you that have found each other. There could be thousands.
Yeah, that's possible. Yeah.
De broer van mijn broer is de broer van mijn broer.
With so many donor children sharing one biological father, there is a danger of them unknowingly becoming romantically involved with each other. But some of them try to look on the bright side.
And what do you think about what he did?
At the beginning I was very angry, emotional, sad at times, and I'm still searching for good things maybe he did.
Martin?
See, now I like him because he taking it as, damn, I want to understand the good about this, and I really want to understand, I know this, the bad, But I really want to know or try to shine some light. And that's how I try to look at things, Yeah, things might not be the way it is, or you might not like it from whatever reason, but try to shine some light on why it's like that for that moment. Because anything that you're going through, just like pain demanding to be felt, or whatever bad is going on, it's probably a reason why.
He did.
Martin Van Halen, one of Dr. Jan's children, expressed a sense of relief and peace upon finally learning the truth.
I saw a picture of Jan when he was younger and now.
Yeah.
And it was shocking.
Yeah, it was mind-blowing. I sent the picture to family and friends and I asked them, who do you see? And they say, is that you?
He revealed that he and many of his newfound half-siblings had formed friendships during their legal battle and intended to maintain contact.
He called me and he said, hi, I'm your half-brother, I think.
Niet weet wat het is om een broer of een zus te hebben. Echt geen idee.
Nee.
En dan ineens zetten ze daar een hoop mensen neer en dan zeggen ze, dat is je broer.
The documentary Seeds of Deceit sheds light on the experiences of Dr. Jan's former patients, who are now mothers to what they refer to as Karbart children. These women shared their enduring desire for motherhood, recounting how they turned a blind eye to the often horrifying insemination treatments they underwent. In some cases, these treatments involved sexual intimidation and abuse. The Karbart children come together for the first time. They grapple with their newfound genetic heritage and the conflicting emotions that accompany it. On one hand, there is a sense of belonging and recognition among the siblings, but on the other hand, there is the fear of inheriting genetic traits from their biological father.
This story out of California is shocking, and heads up, the footage is upsetting. It all went down in Stockton, where police received multiple calls about a possible carjacking.
Captain 911, what is your emergency? I was coming down the street near this guy, and there was a car. It's a person jogging down the street like he's going in the same direction as me, but there's oncoming traffic, and he started running to the oncoming traffic, and the closer I got, I seen that he had the gun. And he was trying to stop the car. The car kept driving, but he went to the third car. And I'm not sure what happened. I just turned around and went the other way.
A security camera in the area picks up footage of a suspected carjacker walking down a sidewalk and aiming his gun at a van passing by. Shortly after, he's seen in the middle of the street, right as the cops pull up. The suspect then lifts up his shirt, takes the gun out of his waistband, and tosses it on the ground. There's no audio yet in this footage, but we can see that the officers have their weapons aimed at the suspect. And this is when things take a dramatic turn. Again, this could be hard to watch. The suspect begins to bolt down the street, and while this footage is somewhat hard to make out, police say this is the moment when he reaches down for the gun, grabs it, and aims it at the officers. The officers respond with gunfire, and the suspect falls to the ground. The 20-year-old man died on the scene, and next to the man, cops recovered a 9mm Glock. This all went down last month, but the footage was just released. Audio wasn't recorded for the entire encounter because some body cameras record a continuous buffer of video in 30-second increments. For this police department, cops turn their body cams on at the start of their shift, so video is always being recorded, but audio doesn't kick in until officers actually enabled their cameras after they opened fire, at which point the audio begins after that 30-second delay. The two officers involved are now back on duty, but an investigation and review of everything that went down is still ongoing.
Shout out to my man Greg over at Crime Line, but man, this is crazy. You up here trying to rob people at gunpoint. And I'm just wondering what was going on in your life that made you want to end it this way. Because that's very sad to hear that you was, man. Just think about you driving and you see this, like, that's just traumatizing. And, police officers, the good ones, do have a very tough job. So shout out to the ones that do their job properly. Again, this is, a crazy situation, man.